So we'll record and we'll make the recording available so everybody can benefit from that. And also, if you guys remember, I did tell you that there are a couple of books that I've made available in the syllabus link. So the Learning PHP 7 book, in chapter number 3, it talks about what I showed you earlier today in this week's Blackboard button. It talks about arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison, logical, incrementing, decrementing, operator precedence, working with string. All of that's part of chapter number 3 of that book also. So you do have multiple help. I've condensed a lot of that and I've given you some tables, and there are some code references in that book. And then I've given you a couple of online resources as well. Okay, so to sum things up here, let's write some comments. Let me write a multi-line comment instead. Okay. So we already, I think we worked with variables. Yeah, we did work with variables last time. So PHP variables must start with a what? Let's see who can answer that.
Dollar sign,
money
right?
sign.
What did you say? PHP variable does starts with a dollar sign, of course, but the name of the variable itself after the dollar sign must start with what?
Can we go over that? Is it just like an alphanumeric character?
Okay, so that's one rule. Name of a variable. So I'm talking about the variable name. Dollar sign is not part of the name. It's part of the syntax, just so that you guys know. So name of a variable must start with a letter or an underscore. Okay. Rest of the variable name can be alpha numeric, which is numbers and letters, and underscore. Spaces are, what do you think, allowed or not allowed?
Probably not allowed.
Not allowed. Very good. Okay. Now let's also talk about some PHP data types. We learned that it is a loose type language, a weakly type language. So, but PHP supports, let's see who can fill in the blank. How many primitive types does PHP supports? You can write your answer in the chat. That way, multiple people will not be speaking at the same time. It'll be easier. How many primitive types are supported by PHP? Okay, one answer came 7. The other one was 5. Okay. I'm talking about numbers, Josh. Like, give me a count. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for specifics. The names of them, I'm just looking for a number. Okay. So we got 7577. Out of 11, I have 4 responses. Okay, another 7. Okay, so let's see. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. 9 people have responded. Still waiting. Nobody gave me the correct answer yet. Let's see if the remaining people, or is there anybody left? Let's see. Yeah, one person is left probably. But anyway, the correct answer is 10. Out of these data types, there are 4 data types that are considered to be 4 are scalar types, means they can only represent a single value. And there are only 4 of them, which are Boolean, integer, float inclusive of double, and string. These are all considered to be scalar types. 4 are compound types. Array is one of them. Then we have an object, callable, and iterable. And then there are 2 special types, which is if you are tapping into an external resource, we have a type called resource. And actually, null is also a type, categorized as a type, then a value. These are 10 that are defined. Also, there are some pseudo types, such as mixed, number, void, etc. So it's not very easy to define how many types are there. It doesn't categorize them very well like Java, where Java says, well, I got only 2 categorizations. One is a primitive and one is a referenced. Well, here the categorization would be primitive and pseudo, where primitive has 10 types and pseudo doesn't matter. I mean, like they're like every version just adds more to it. Now, we did look into something like this before, that you can declare a variable. You do not need to have any data type. You can just simply assign it a value. Okay. What do you think is the data type of name? Is it scalar? Is it compound? Or is it special? What is the data type of name? Scalar?
Scalar.
Scalar, because it's string type. So it is scalar. And you can easily print it by calling the variable name, and it gets printed, means it will be displayed on the screen. No problem. Now, on line number 21, can I treat name as a number?
You could, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I can say name equals to 25.67. And now, oops, I forgot the semicolon. So now I can print, oh, is an easy one. Let's call a built-in function called getType. So it will tell you the data type of name now. So it'll be easier for us to see that, yep, the data type did change behind the scene. And let me add over here, BR, break row. There's a concatenation operator I used and a break row so that you could see the different, like the outputs in 2 separate lines. Now what's going on here? Oh, come on, don't do this to me. It is there. Didn't we have this problem last time also?
I mean, you constantly got error messages, but it worked last time.
Oh yeah, you're right. I did get messages, but it did work last time. So let me see. Properties, PHP, debug. Let's see if that fixes anything. That one is set up using an existing server. But this one is not even letting me choose an existing server. Run configurations. Server already running. Okay. If it is already running, this project is not associated with any servers.
Huh.
Okay. Properties, click server. Hmm. Other people have also encountered the problem, so let's see what they have to say. Target runtimes. Okay, show all runtimes. There aren't any. New. Okay. Let's see if that makes any difference. Nope. Properties. Are you guys able to run it? No problem.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, mine runs.
It
Yeah, I'm
should-
good.
Okay, it should run. It's just like, no, I don't know why my thing is so messed up. Let me stop this. Let me maybe delete this. And let me add the server does not support version 7.4. Oh, that might be the thing. Oh, I don't know why. Okay, let's. I think that was it. It was a server version for some reason. So 7.4, it's not picking up 7.4. But anyway, works now. Okay, so this is how you can get to see the data type. And we were able to see that the data type changed from a string to a double type. And this is where you can see how HTML can be used, something that we did work with last time. So just to recap some of that stuff, you can always use some HTML tags like this and simply refresh to see the output. You do not need to restart the whole thing. Did we also learn how to declare constants?
Yes, I think we
That
did
was
it
the-
once.
Define function thing, right?
Oh, yeah. And we also learned how to create case sensitive constant names versus case insensitive constant names.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Though I think it got removed in some of the news versions.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. We also looked into that. Just wanted to make sure how far we came. And did we use any scientific notations in values?
We did.
We did. Okay. But we didn't do any casting, or did we do casting as well?
I think we did.
Okay, like converting a. Okay, so let's have a look at one quick example here. Let's say if we have a variable called revenue, whose value is a string like A, B, C, D, E, F, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a combination of string and numbers. So if I want to create a floating point version of revenue, and I use a built-in function float val on the variable revenue, and let's see what revenue is now. use a VR. Did we use this function float well?
I don't think we did.
Okay. So it will successfully convert, but the output will be 0 because the numbers were towards the end of the string. So similar to float val, we do have other functions like int val to convert to an integer, or we have str val to convert to a string, or we have a bool val to convert to a boolean. So those are the other 3 conversion functions. And to line number 23, if we make this 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E, F, 4, 5, 6, 7, after that change, when you refresh, you will see that the value of revenue is 1, 2, 3, and it ignores everything after that because it's not a number. Okay. Similarly, since we are on the subject, let's say if I have a integer variable score equals to a value of 90, and I want to create a string score, there's another way to do the conversion is to cast it to the type string. So score will be casted to a string version of the score, and then I can echo that. And if I declare another variable called string score 2, to which I assign a value string, if I assign the value score like this in all double quotes, what do you think the value of the string score 2 will be? Will it be score, or will it be the value of the score?
I think it'll just be score. Or wait, no, it's the double quote, so it's going to be the value of score.
Okay, you're right. Because of the double quotes, it will be the value of the score. So I don't know if we had a chance to deal with Booleans. Did we?
I think we did a bit.
I think we might have done this, right? We tried to multiply a Boolean. When you multiply a Boolean, you get a 0 because it's false. So 0 times false is false. And if we try to convert that into a string, the Boolean, then we get null, nothing. It's just null. Is everybody done with this example?
Yeah.
Let's see. Still have Thomas, Cameron, Tristan, Mason, Josh, James. James is done. Okay, Mason, Cameron is done. Okay, Tristan. Okay, so let's save this example as variables 2. And let's delete everything in the PHP tags. Okay, and with that, now let me give you the list of the arithmetic operators in PHP that we have 6 arithmetic operators in PHP. What's the last one for?
Exponential.
Yep. So let's say I have a variable money equals to 678. And I have another variable money 2 equals to 644. And in my answer, I want to take the money and divide it by money 2. Do you think the answer will be in decimal?
I think they're both integers, so no.
Okay. They're both integers, so we think the answer will not be in decimal. But it is.
Huh?
That's PHP. We're still in Java.
Dang.
Okay. Now let's apply a built-in function round. Or in fact, let me do both without rounding and rounding so that you can get to see both answers. Answer with round and answer regular. Oh, I should not have round this one. Left is to regular. And the other one to round, okay. So it did round it to 1 because it was 1.05. Let's copy that and paste it again. Now I want to round to 2 decimal places. So it'll round to 2 decimal places. Let me show you another variation here. In case if you do not want to do this, you can actually do the calculation right therein, like right there, and then you can display the output. Okay. It works exactly the same way. If you calculate ahead of time in a variable and then round that, or you do your calculation right there and then. Ah, 3 cube. Okay. What do you think will be the output of X? Will it be 4? Because X was not initialized. I just add 4 to X, so it'll be nothing.
Would it just be 4?
So when you just start adding 4 to an undeclared variable, its value is 0. So it just adds 4 to the 0. Yep. How about you guys play around with line number 17 and try multiplication, division, modulus, and just play around with that to see what the outputs will be.
It does not work for me, actually.
Which one?
The just defining X with the plus equals.
So it didn't give you the value 4?
No,
What did it
it
give
just
you?
gave me an
Nothing.
Well, it gives me the value, but it has an undefined variable warning.
Yeah, that's a warning. Yep.
Okay.
Because it's not preferred. We shouldn't
Yeah.
do that. So once you're done with that, then declare x to the value of 10, and then try the plus plus, and that will increment the value of x by 1. And just like we have this, we also have, just remember it's plus plus $x, not dollar plus plus x, just so that you know. If you're using a pre-increment, the plus plus will go before the dollar sign. Similarly with pre-decrement, the same stuff. Also, if you want, you can increment in the output. So it will first increment and will then display the output. Versus post increment, where it will first display and will then increment. Okay, so everybody get to see the output here, that the value is 1212. The last two values are 1212. Because this is pre-increment, it made the incremented to 12 and then displayed the value. The second one was post-increment, so the value was incremented to 13, but it first displayed its original value before increment. So the value before increment was 12, and the value after increment was 13. Okay. Now let's save this one as variables 3. And let me wipe out everything within the PHP scriptlets and oops. And let's declare a variable called part1. Let's call it let's make it equal to IT, and a part2, let's make it equal to programs. Okay. Now, if I were to add program 2 to the value of program, sorry, if I want to add part 2 to part 1, how will I do that?
The dot equals.
Yeah, so I'll have part 1 dot equals to part 2. And then I can echo part 1. Okay, everybody got this?
Yep.
Now I want you to open this book that I was referring to earlier on and read pages 33 through 38. Bottom of page 33 starts with operators and read all the way through, I would say, page 39. Right, yeah, page number 40, actually, right before the arrays. So from 33 through 40. In the syllabus, this would be the second book in the syllabus link. In the syllabus link, the second book, Learning PHP 7. I'll stop sharing the screen. I'll probably pause the recording too for now. Resume the recording as we start going through the examples related to if condition. Stuff that we looked at before we went on break. So I will be saving my current example as working with variables 4. And I'll delete the part that I don't need. Let me clear everybody's feedback. Yeah, we'll give everybody a minute or so to get this far. And now let's test their values using a comparison operator of age versus age 2. What do you think will be echoed here? Will it be same or will it be different? What do you guys think? Be same or different? Come out as same. Because again, when it compares the values, It does it without considering the data type. Do you think we'll get the same output if we were to compare age and age 3? Let's try age versus age 3, age compared to age 3. And we still get the output as same. Now, we will add 3 equals to, and we will rerun this, and now it says different. Then you'll be like, maybe because if it's a string and a number, so how about if we compare an integer and double? And it still comes out to be different. It is only a demonstration to show you guys the difference between the 2 equals versus 3 equals. Is everybody caught up with this example? Okay.
Yep.
Let's save it as number 5. And let's try this next example with only a not equals to symbol, with 1 not and 1 equals. That's the only difference that I'll be doing here. Let's run this. And we'll make sure that it is different. I mean, sorry, this should be different. I'll switch it around. Different versus same. So same, okay. The not equals to fails because they are treated as same value. If I do 3, age 1 not equals to age 3, it still says same. And if I do with not equal equals, then it will come out to be different. Just so that we can get to see both operations. That's why we did both examples. Now let's save it as example number 6. In example number 6, I want to compare, and I'm going to modify the values just a little bit. I'm going to make this 29.1. I'm going to make this 29.1 as well. So the one in the double format is 29.1. And also the one in the string format is 29.1. And let me see if age is less than age 2. And I'll say age is less than age 2. And otherwise we'll say that age is greater than or equal to age 2. Okay. It's quite evident in this example that the first if condition will be true because 29 is indeed less than 29.1. The real question comes in if I were to compare age and age 3. So now after you are done testing age and age 2, change that to an age 3 and likewise update the outputs. And when you refresh, you will see that even if it's a string, it will convert it on the fly for the sake of comparison. Okay. Now to this example, let's add the else ifs. Else if age is greater than age 3, then we can say age is greater than age 3. Else age is equal to age 3. So just so that you can also see an example with else if. Okay. Now let's save this example as number 7. Is everybody following through these examples?
I am.
Okay. Let's delete this and let's move on to the switch case example. So let's say if we have a destination equals to Madison, echo traveling to the following destination. And based on the destination, we're going to be making some choices. So switch destination. So if the destination matches Las Vegas, then display, bring an extra 1,000. If it matches Amsterdam, then bring an open mind. If it matches Egypt, if it matches Tokyo, if it matches Caribbean island, otherwise bring an extra code. So, well, Madison will fall under the default. Therefore, that will be the output. Whenever you guys are done with this code and have tested it, try changing Madison with a lowercase m. We're going to, of course, still fall under default. Then maybe try one of the other values, let's say Egypt. Try with the same case that matches, try with a different case. So play around with these values a little bit so that you can see what the output will be. Okay. So did everybody get a chance to review this? And also like code it and play around with it with different values?
Yep.
Yep.
Then I will save this as number 8. And let me give you guys a task to solve. See if you can do this one yourself, okay? Write a PHP program to display state capital, provided state name is given. Test with any 5 states. If state names don't match, display Washington, D.C. Write the code with switch case, then rewrite the same code with if condition. You can pick any 5 states. In number 9, we will write a program together using switch case, and we will then use an if condition inside one of the cases. So write a program to accept, not accept, to test values 1 through 4 in a switch case. So we're going to just first build this one. Score equals to 4. Switch score case 1 echo below average case 2 echo average case 3 above average case 4 proficient default echo invalid value. So this is only the step 1. We will test step 1 before I give you the instruction for step 2. So here, when I run it, it will say proficient because of score equals 4.
Yep, that works.
Now what I'll do is just that if score equals 4, we will display gifts based on the homeroom teacher. It's still going to be different for each homeroom teacher. So we'll have a teacher as a variable equals to, let's say, Ramos. So for number 4, before we break, we can have an if condition here. If teacher matches Morris, echo pencil case with 4 pencils. Else, if teacher equals Ramos, echo erasers no, let me add a BR. Let me know when everybody is done with this code and have also tested. For me, for the number 4 is proficient. And since the name of the teacher is Ramos, therefore erasers and a chocolate bar, that comes out to be the output. And again, give me a check so that I know that you are done with this and also have tested it and you understood what's going on. Okay, I'm still waiting for 2 more people to give me an okay. Josh and Tristan. Okay. Now what I would like you to do is save this example as number 10. After that, I want you to rewrite this piece in switch. Rewrite this piece in a switch case. So you'll have a switch within a switch. Okay, so far 4 people are done. In number 11, we'll get rid of all of this code, and we will now bring in, with the help of PHP date stuff, we're going to be bringing in that information. And then we will also use the switch case with dates. So let's see, I mean, like not directly with dates, but we'll extract information out of the date, convert that into a string. I'll use that with a switch case. So let's set, what you have to do with the PHP, you got to first of all set the default time zone. So let's say if I set mine to New York, so I'm saying I'm setting my default time zone to America, and within America, I'm setting it to New York. Then let me display the today's information. Okay, so today is, I call the built-in date function, and I want to display the today's date in the following format. So after this much, test your code to see that you can see today's date.
Yeah.
And then also add the time information to see if you can see the time. And of course, since we have set it to New York, therefore you will see the time is 1 hour ahead of us, whatever is the time over here, plus 1 hour. After that, copy paste lines 7 through 9 and change your city to Chicago. Instead of New York, change it to Chicago. And then refresh the output. And you will see that it show you the current time in our time zone. Okay. Then let's extract from today's date, because now that we have set the time zone, and when we say I want to call the date and I want to extract today's day of the week, it will go by whatever time zone you have set. So I'm extracting from today's date only the day of the week. So let's first echo this to see what output it displays. Then we will comment out this code, and then we'll start writing some more code. with this day variable. So let's make sure that it displays mon for Monday, just so that you know what it does. It extracts the first 3 letters from today's date. Okay, everybody got this?
Yep.
Now go to the following site that I've shared in the chat. And I would like you to then look at the different letters that you can use. Just look into the format, the letters D through U that are supported by PHP. So I'll give a few minutes for everybody to review that, read the information, just so that you're familiar with it. You don't have to memorize everything. It's just that you are familiar with it, and that'll be adding a few more things to this example. And let me know when you guys are done reviewing that. So after that, you will then comment out the echo day, which we had before, and we will be writing the following switch case, which will display an appropriate message based on the day of the week. I just tested it. It works fine for me.
Yep.
The code that I'm just writing right now on line 26, what do you think this code will do?
Add like a, I forget what they're called, like the copyright line. I think they're just called copy lines.
Right, so what will be the output of this line?
Should be like the little copyright symbol 2010 to 2022.
Yep. So copyright symbol 2020, 2010 through, and then we are extracting the current year from the current date by calling the date function, right? So that will display that. So whenever you guys are done testing this code, let me know. And as you get done with this example, there is another link I've posted in the chat. This link will take you to another page on W3 Schools where it talks about the function mktime, which we will be using in our example next. So review this and then save your current example as number 12. And that'll be our next example with mktime. So I think Josh, Cameron, and Aiden are the only three people still working on number 11. Okay, Cameron and Aiden now. Aiden is done, Cameron, okay. So go ahead and review that article that I've posted in the chats. Then save the current one as number 12. And then delete everything between the PHP tags. So basically, that is the format for the mktime. So we are creating a date creation variable, calling mktime and setting it to this date, November 29, 2021 at 10:24:29. So I need to come up with a date format. I have this entire date. I can display it however I wish to display it. So that's why I left the double quotes empty for now. The second parameter is the date that I want to display. The first parameter is the format. So that we have hour, minutes, seconds, and then the A is for AM, PM. And since M is already taken by month, therefore minute uses I, the second letter in minutes. Next, I want you to read the next one, which is another function called str to time. This function is used for converting string to time.
That's pretty nifty.
Yeah.
So let's save the current page as number 13. And date creation, SDR to time. Let's say, all right, 10:14 p.m. June 19, 2021. Okay. That's it. I mean, just refresh the page. Okay, everybody got that?
Mhm.
Okay. Let's save this as number 14. And I'll change my message. I am coming. So and so. And I'll just change this whole string to now. Remember, when you do not set the time zone, it defaults to the Greenwich Mean Time. That's why it's giving you tomorrow's date. So that's what we did when, like, what was that example? Number 11, yeah. So if we change, if you set the default date, right here, and then test it, then I'll talk about here. When you do not set the default time zone, then it defaults to Greenwich Mean Time. Now use the word tomorrow instead of now. And refresh, and I'm going to tell you today's date. But it I mean, like, it sets itself to like a beginning of the day. So let me comment out the ones that we have already tested so that you have it on you, the values that we have tested. Similarly, after you're done testing tomorrow, change the tomorrow to, let's say, next Saturday. So when you refresh, it will be February 5th. Now, if you want to drop the HISA part, you can just leave the date there. And it'll be just like, I'm just coming on so and so date. Similarly, oops, instead of next Saturday, if I type plus 2 months, so that'll all automatically be March 31st. I hope everybody is able to follow along okay. Similarly, if I say plus 7 weeks, then I'll be like 7 weeks from now, March 21st. So that's, yeah, that's 7 weeks. Week 1 will be February 7th, 14, 21, 28, 7, 14, and 21st. So that's 7 weeks. That's why it gives you March 21st. Pretty interesting stuff. And very powerful date functions and time functions.
Is it smart enough to not get caught up on leap years?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because you can test this. For example, instead of plus 2 months, if you do plus 3 months, this is 31-day month. So it will not take you to May 1st. It will, it'll take you, I'll say this, or that, I should 3 months, uncomment out. So it will actually take, oh, hold on a second. Oh yeah, because of the, literally, I don't know why it is doing. The time zone should be correct. Plus 2 months is 331, and plus 3 months. Huh, interesting. Hold on a second. So 2024 is the next one, right? So that will be plus 26 months from now, plus 25 months from now. Ah, no, it's not smart enough. For 25 months from now, it is giving March 2nd as opposed to giving, yeah, the end of February of 2024.
No, that there. Never mind. I don't think that would be right.
Yeah, 25 months from now should be the end of February of 2024. It actually gives March 2nd because it just goes plus 2 days into March because it's the difference of 29 and 31. So if I go 13 months from now, it goes to the March 3rd because next year, February is 28 days. So the difference of 31 and 28 is 3. So it, it is actually moving by dates, not exactly by months.
So instead of actually trying to go through the timeline, it's basically just cheating and moving a marker on a calendar effectively.
Yeah, it's just moving by dates. Yep. Okay, let's look at one more example here. Date creation. String. I just saved my previous one as number 15. Okay, so instead of plus 13 months, let me set it to July 4th. Okay. Now, July 4th has not yet happened. So right now, if I just refresh it, oh, not this one. I should rerun number 15. So it will be the July 4th of this year. But if I set it to, let's say, January 4th, oh, sorry, January 4th, it still sets it to the same year, January 4th. Doesn't goes to the next year. Jano 4 or January 04 works exactly the same way. Okay. So let's go back to the July 4th because the whole idea of this example is I want to be able to calculate the number of days left to July 4th. So I want to do some calculations here in a variable call days until. That will be my variable. So I'll say there are days until number of days till 4th of July. So we're going to do some calculations on line number 10. Okay. So first of all, date creation minus the time. Let's do this. Let's build this example one step at a time. And let's echo for now the days until. Once we have the whole complete output in its true sense, then we will start commenting out line 11 and we will uncomment line 12. So refresh the output at this point, and you will get a massive number, which is just the time, which needs to be converted into days. Now this time is in seconds. So how do you convert seconds into minutes?
Divided by 60.
Okay, so we're going to divide that by 60. So you will see that the number now drops to now in minutes. And how do you convert minutes into hours?
Another
Another 60.
yeah, another 60.
Right. Okay.
Hours to days is the 24.
So let's refresh after that, and you will see that the number further drops down. To convert to days, we will divide by 24. And that will be 153.0 some days. Okay. Now 153.0, if you round it, will be 153, which will actually take you to July 3rd, right? So that's why it's always a good idea in this case to seal it. Even if it's a little bit above one day, it will fall to the next one. So that's why we will seal it. So it'll seal to 154. Okay. So now we'll comment out this line and we will uncomment the line below. So now when I refresh my output, it will say there are 154 days till 4th of July. Did everybody get to see this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's move on to our next example, which will be ternary operator 1. The ternary operator is an operator which takes in more than 2 values, total 3 values. You probably have learned about this in Java and C# or in JavaScript. So for example, if this is my if condition right now, I hope everybody can read this if condition and also understand it. All this if condition do is display the value of output based on the value of code. If code is 34, output is yes or no based on the value of code. It's a simple program. You run it and you get to see an output that is the code 34, and the answer is yes. Now our whole idea of a ternary operator is, in this kind of a situation, you can replace this entire code block with a single instruction set. So once everybody get to test this, then I'll replace lines 18 through 30, 8 through 13 with the equivalent ternary operator code. Yeah, once I get green checks from everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So we will now comment from here all the way down till here. Okay, so we'll just comment out the if condition code. And I will introduce a new variable here. Okay. Which will be the output variable, which is where I'll use my ternary operator. If code equals to 34, and then you use a question mark to check to see if it is true or false. If it is true, the output equals to yes. Otherwise, the output equals to no. So that's how basically you can combine the entire if-else condition into a single line operation. So if code equals 34, yes, otherwise no. So now when you run your program after that change, your output stays this. Oh, 1 second. Still running number 15. Ran the wrong one. Ran the wrong program. Here we go. The answer stays the same. The code logic is different behind the scene. Okay. Now let's save this one as ternary op2 .php. We can simply eliminate the use of the output altogether. We can just delete. I just copied this code, this much code, copied this much code, and then we can simply comment out this whole thing and replace the output with the ternary operator. Okay, right here in place of the output, I'll replace the whole ternary operation. Hold on a second. Only getting yes. Let me try to put this inside the parentheses. Yep, I think, yeah. Put that in the parentheses. Otherwise, it was just running that piece of code. So when you put this in the parentheses, then it concatenates well with the surrounding. Okay, so did everybody get this one working too?
Yes.
Okay, so now go to the Blackboard under this week's button, scroll down to your very first assignment, and let me know if you have any questions about that assignment.
No questions here.
Yeah, seems pretty straightforward.
Okay,
That's like
thoughts
what
exactly.
that's like what we did last week and none of what we did this week.
yes, yes, I
Yeah.
purposely did that.
Simple.
It kept it a little bit simpler. So that'll give you a chance to review last week's and also will give you a chance to go over this week's. Okay, so if you do not have any questions for me, then that's all for today. Let me stop the recording here.